Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today I am joined by...
James. I'm here to commentate.
Hey James, welcome back to the channel. A little bit interesting for you, we haven't got any Rebels or Resistance on the board. Are you going to be okay with this?
I will be because I really like the look of this Scum list.
Yeah, it is a really cool list. I think as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know Quinn loves Scum, but I think James would appreciate the theme behind this list at least.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
We will indeed. So, as I said, we've got an interesting game here. We've got Empire versus Scum. We have Fraser on the left. And seeing as I am a big fan of the Empire, I think I will go through that list. So, what we have is Colonel Jendon in the Lambda with Jamming Beam, Seventh Sister, and Minister Tua. We have Volt Scaris in the TIE Defender, tricked out with Tractor Beam, TIE Defender Elite, Fire Control System, and Marksmanship. And bringing up the points, we have 2 Academy TIE Fighters, because everything else is that expensive, you can't fit much else in, really.
Yeah, once you get a Defender in the list, you're already going to be a bit low on points.
I mean, Defenders are just crazy expensive. They're crazy good. Yeah, crazy good, but crazy expensive. So what have we got on the other side?
So Ed has brought Fenrau with Outmaneuver, Bosk in the Z95 Headhunter with Expert Handling.
Nice.
Ahav? I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy's name, but in the modified TIE Fighter.
Yep.
Captain Seavor in the modified TIE Fighter, and a regular Mining Guild Surveyor in the modified TIE. And all of the TIEs have trick shots.
Nice.
But that's not what you've named them.
No, that's not what I've named them. So, those of you that may have seen Ed's ships on the channel before may have noticed that he tends to have a running Marvel theme for all of his paint jobs. And this one does not disappoint at all, as we have 3 Mining Guild ties, all with a very specific paint job. So the regular Mining Guild Surveyor is Spider-Gwen. So you can see her up in the top right.
Sort of white and sort of pink coloured one near the top of the board.
Which looks amazing. Ahav, I'm not entirely sure, but he has just a sort of a Miles Morales Spider-Man theme to him. And my absolute favourite is Captain Noir Seavor, who is
Spider Noir,
and he also has a 3D printed hat.
Oh, does he? Oh,
it's quite. That. You can just about see it right here. If you look really closely, it's not the most obvious of things.
Make it out.
But yeah, he has a little 3D printed hat, which one of the other guys in the store was kind enough to actually 3D print a couple of copies with. And then obviously we have the Z95, which has the Hawkeye colour scheme, and Fenrau, which, as we remember, is the Wolverine colour scheme.
Yeah, a very fitting colour scheme for Fenrau as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely brutal. Get in there, slash, and hope that everything else dies. So, kind of fitting.
Now, theming aside, because I'm a massive Spider-Man fan, you sent me a screenshot of this before we did the commentary. I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Spider-Man themed, I'm in. But now looking at the upgrades, I really like what Ed's done, because all of the TIE fighters for the Scum can ignore obstacles, ignore asteroids whilst moving, which means he's not worried about having to go through them after lining up a trick shot. I really like that combo. The other thing I like that he's got is Fenrau with Outmaneuver, because normally he's just got Fearlessness.
Yeah. It's normally, I've got Fenrau, I'm sticking Fearless on there. But
I like Outmaneuver because you can, if you don't line up with the enemy's arc, you miss out on all of your abilities. Whereas without maneuver, you're still a massive threat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think anyone that's come up against a ship without maneuver, especially an ace, knows how frustrating that is. I mean, we all know that the worst ship to put out maneuver on is Wedge. It's broken, it's horrible.
But again, that's similar to Fenral with Fearlessness. It's doubling down on one scenario, whereas this Fenral has kind of hedged his bets a bit.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's an interesting one on there to have that, and it's refreshing to see a ship that we see fairly often with a different loadout. And I think that's what's really good about this game is that you don't have to stick to a specific loadout to think, right, that's the only way that ship is good. You can do different things with it.
Yeah, and it can completely throw your opponent off. If they're used to seeing, Fenral, okay, I'll get him in arc at range 2. Still ideal for taking him out, but on this occasion, you got to be wary if he flanks you as well. He's not going to be coming straight for you necessarily.
Yeah, and he's obviously got the initiative over everyone on the board, and having Volscaris there and a defender and Fen Rao as his opponent, defenders do not like things to outmaneuver them, especially with the outmaneuver title. That is, defenders just don't like that.
Yeah, and I like that Ed is seemingly already starting to head around the side of the board with Fen, possibly to get behind the Lambda.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good option if you can get rid of that Lambda. I mean, the abilities that it's got on there are fairly handy. So with Colonel Jendon allowing a ship to get a target lock beyond range 3, admittedly it's only affecting Volscaris, so I'm wondering if Jendon's in there more for the initiative rather than his actual ability. But it is interesting. And then you've got Minister Chua in there as well, who, once you are damaged, which, let's face it, it's a Lambda, it's going to happen.
But it's got enough health to make the most out of a crew like Minister Chua.
Yeah, so obviously, at the start of the engagement, you may perform a red coordinate action. So
it's coordinate? Or is it...
reinforce action, sorry.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was just looking up as you were reading out, because I'm not completely familiar with Minister Chua.
She doesn't pop up very often because she's fairly expensive. 7 points is quite a lot, but reinforce on a Lambda. Now, reinforce is actually, I think, quite a good action. I think it's an underutilized action.
Particularly if it's an extra action, such as it with Minister Chua, where it's at the start of engagement phase. If you're damaged, you can perform a red reinforce. It's not taking up your main action.
Absolutely. So it's really handy. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually gets activated during the game, whether Ed does decide that he wants to get rid of that Lambda, or if he's just going to try and focus down Volt. Because Volt is a lot of... He's 91 points in this configuration.
90, okay. Because he's also running the new... is it a title, or is it
it's the config, the TIE Defender Elite. So it's another one of those wordy cards, guys. But luckily, it's actually quite straightforward. So essentially, you decrease the difficulty of your hard turn maneuvers. So your 3s become blue, your 1s and 2s become white. Amazing. You increase the difficulty of your K-turn maneuvers, so you lose the white for K-turn and it becomes red. But
I know there's more to the card, but just for that first bit, you're effectively changing from the typical back and forth defender into more of an interceptor style ship.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's more interceptory that way. So it does... It's quite a drastic change in that play style.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not there just like 4King around a ship, just going ring around the roses with it. You've actually got to utilize your turns a bit more and think about when you are going to K-turn.
Yeah, it doesn't say you can't K-turn. It just makes them...
Just makes them... Yeah. Now, there is another part to this. So it's the advanced fire control. So you lose the full throttle ability and get advanced fire control. So after you perform a cannon or missile attack, if you have a lock on the defender, you may perform a bonus primary attack against the defender.
Which is where Volscaris's other upgrades here really come into play.
Yeah, so this is where obviously fire control system really comes into play. So allowing you to reroll 1 dice while you have a lock.
And getting to keep the lock.
And getting to keep the lock. We also have Tractor Beam on here, which is an interesting choice. I can see. I like it, but it's an interesting one. I'm not sure if I'd have preferred something like Auto Blasters or Heavy Laser Cannon, but that's a different subject.
You're already pushing 90 points already.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, Auto Blasters would be 1 point cheaper and Heavy Laser Cannon is only 1 point more expensive, so you'd have to drop something somewhere. But it is a really good idea. Obviously, what you can do is you can tractor the ship, reduce its agility, then decide...
Potentially move it into range 1 as well.
Potentially move it into range 1.
Or onto an obstacle or what have you.
And then obviously double tap. And there's no negative to that double tap either. In fact, it's pretty much all positive, because as long as you haven't spent that target lock, you are golden. It's really good.
Yeah, so you get a tractor and a regular shot.
Yeah. So it is really good. And I mean, Volscaris's actual ability...
Yeah, something about doing an action in the engagement phase, I think?
Yeah, so gain 1 strain token to recover 1 charge. Before you engage, you may spend 1 charge to perform an action. So it's almost like... passive... is it passive sensor? No. Yeah, passive sensors. So you spend the charge, and then that way you can either get a target lock or a calculate. But with this, you can do any action. So it's like holding that action in reserve, so you have that full scope of where everything is in the board. So
which I feel works really well with the combo of upgrades that Fraser's got. Because if you get to the point where you're attacking and you don't have a shot, you're not going to use your action to take a target lock. You can then grab an evade or maybe a focus to try and stay alive, or potentially barrel roll or boost out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many things you can actually do there. So there's a lot of points in there, but it is something that can work very well.
Yeah, so this is a shot going into the lander, I think.
Into the lander,
is that from Bosk?
That was...
Or was that Spider-Gwen? They both look about in range.
That was actually from Bosk there at range 3. So I will point out that, unfortunately, the dice cam didn't record for some reason. Not 100% sure why. So I've spent a little bit of time to be able to actually get it so we can see what the dice are. So I hope you guys appreciate that, because I know it can be difficult to try and see them on the board, especially considering half the time they actually roll them in the dice tray, which is off camera. So I tried to help.
We are now moving over to Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
2 hits.
2 hits, yeah. Not a bad roll. And
spending
the force, yeah.
Oh, of course, the force from Seventh Sister.
Yeah, from Seventh Sister, obviously giving you the force there. It's quite a good one to have there. So Seventh Sister is actually quite an interesting one. You've either got just her innate force there, or if an enemy ship at range 0 to 1 would gain a stress token, you can spend that force to have it gain 1 jam or tractor token instead. So you could potentially stop Fen from...
Yeah, it's a very brutal ability for things like Fen, who want to get into range 1 and double action at the cost of stress.
Yeah, so you could jam him and say, okay, so that focus you got, you don't have that anymore. Or if he doesn't have a green token, you go, all right, take a tractor token, -1 agility. So there's a lot of interesting things happening on Fraser's list in that way with Volt and Jemden. And then I think the ideal is you've got those 2 TIE fighters to sweep in and sort of just add those extra dice rolls.
Yeah, so, oh, look, this guy's jammed. Go, go, go.
Yeah. So it's a good list. I like it. We'll see how well it obviously plays. It's a bit different to what I would normally play. I tend to fly a bit more AC, or I fly a bit of everything really nowadays. But yeah, but I mean, I'm quite interested to see how this little mini swarm of
Yeah, I was just
mighty
thinking
guild size
because
sticks.
I mean we had a stray shot from the generic Spider Gwen, but at range 3 and with the force it didn't go through. But once all three of those turn into the fight, that is a different thing, because it seems like Ed is definitely going to fly them in formation for as long as he can.
Oh yeah,
Keep that concentrated fire on whatever is in front of them.
I think it makes sense as well to try and fly them in formation as long as possible because, again, they are essentially just TIE fighters, so they only have 2 red dice. Unless they
And
obviously
these
shoot
TIE
your
fighters
obstacle.
can actually see left and right.
Yes, they can because they have a little bit of a window there. So that is quite nice for them. But again, they only have 2 shots unless they've actually managed to activate Trick Shot. So having that weight of fire is going to be good. Although one thing I do find quite interesting is given their position at the moment at the top of the board, they kind of have the wrong obstacles for
Oh, that's
their
true, because the wording on the
ability.
card does specify asteroids rather than
Yeah.
obstacles.
So it's
Okay.
asteroids that they would prefer. So although they've got the obstacle for their trick shot ability, they're kind of missing out on their actual being able to just move over it. So
Yeah, although I guess the less dangerous things to fly over. So if you have to, then
yeah,
so be it.
I mean, a gas cloud. You know what? Gas clouds are great. I think they're great, sort of like training obstacles, as it were, just that allow
Yeah,
you to do
and
whatever
if
you
you're
want.
flying like large ships or swarms, then basically just take them.
Yeah,
I think most of the time.
unless you're extremely comfortable in your
Yeah.
flying skills. So, which is why I tend to normally take at least 2 of them. But we've just got our next round of movement, so not much actually happening in damage-wise in that last round. So some good evades there, and good usage of the force from Fraser.
Yeah, the little academy pilots are heading straight into the fight.
Don't blame
That
them.
blue one's going very quick.
Yeah, it really. I think it's a combination of get some shots in and get a good block in, I think. So,
yeah, I can see the block. That blue one is right in the way of between those gas clouds.
yeah, I mean, if Bosk turns in, then he's definitely bumping. And it also makes Fen have to think a little bit about what his reposition actions will be. Although if he's going down that way, he's going to be in a bit of a box with all those gas clouds anyway. So
And potentially the spider swarm is going to follow where Gwen just went.
yeah, will it catch the Lambda? Maybe just.
And there might be a shot there, but
There
I
might be a
think
shot.
you're probably better off at least going for the TIE fighter.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see where Volt ends up. I wouldn't, judging from where the academy ties are, I'd like to think that Volt is going to be doing something big, maybe like a 2 or 3 hard.
I'm picturing him doing a 3 hard to get as much distance like away from that cloud that's to his left.
Yeah, so we're sort of imagining that he will end up probably about here, and then maybe take some form of barrel roll to get out of that.
Yeah, I think it depends where he does finally end up. If he doesn't need to use a barrel roll, maybe he won't.
Not. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where he does end up. Oh, I think we could actually see right now that hat on Captain Noir Seavor.
Yeah, I can just about make it out because if it's Spider Noir, then it's like a little black fedora, right?
Yeah, it is. It's just, I mean, you can kind of see it there, but when you see it in person, you're just like, yeah, no, that is actually super cool, and just like the absolute nerd in me. I mean, we're playing Star Wars ships here, and we're talking about Star Wars ships, obviously quite nerdy. But like that nerd level is just like literally risen. When I saw that, I was like, that's genius. Like,
I
thank
think
you.
the way to improve on it is just have a tiny little fan somewhere, just constantly blowing a bit of breeze onto it, like
That would be
into
good.
the Spider-Verse. It's like, where's that breeze coming from that's flapping his coat around?
Yeah, that would be really good actually. But I think we're just
Yeah, I
waiting
think there's a bit
now.
of decision making on an action for
Yeah.
Ahab. No, Bosk. Sorry, Bosk is taking a focus. So the academy ties possibly overshot. Didn't get a bump on Bosk at least. Oh, it's a slow bank.
That is interesting.
Going slow. Although currently, I think is safe. Granted,
Yeah.
Fenn hasn't moved yet, but I think he's at least out of range of the
Yeah,
mining ties.
I'd be very confident in saying that he's out of range of those mining guild ties there. Interesting that. I mean, I would have anticipated something faster, but never know. Maybe he's got a trick up his sleeve. Let's see what Fenn's actually doing.
Fenn is
And there's the big move we were expecting from. I almost wish Volt had done that big move now, because it would have been like the symmetry of them going around like yin and yang.
And also he possibly wouldn't be in Fenn's arc.
I think he would have got. I think they would have got out of each other's arc there. But right now, Fenn is probably going to be looking at maybe just wiping out one of those TIE fighters, or checking range there. So it's range 2 on Volt, or range 1 on Blue and Red.
I think. Oh no, I'm thinking Fearless. Fenrir's ability doesn't worry about arcs, does it?
So Fenrir's ability. So while you defend a forward attack, if the attack range is 1, you may roll 1 additional die. Does not worry about arcs. Concordia Face Off does, but
that's the one.
Okay. That's 5 hits into a TIE fighter.
That is what you take Fenrir to try and roll.
Yeah, that's painful, and that's into blue, by the way. Ooh.
Okay.
Let's see what we get. The little TIE fighter that couldn't.
Even spending that evade takes 3 damage and dies. Wow. What a first piece of damage of the game. It's just a ship gone.
I mean, it's an Academy TIE fighter, so it's not a lot of points, but still, just say, actually, let me take that back. Although it's not a lot of points, how many times have we seen Academy TIE fighters be the ones that are just an absolute...
Yeah, they can just stick around and just be a nuisance. And now we've got Wolverine coming in and just cutting it in half.
Yeah. I mean, that was just absolute brutality there. We've got a range 3 from Bosk into Jendon. I just can't get over that attack. That was crazy.
Was that natural dice as well?
No, it was 1 hit and 4 focuses, so spending the focus.
4 focuses.
Yeah.
God, the amount of times I've rolled something like that and not had a focus.
Yeah, I did that yesterday whilst evading. And I was literally there like, I've got a gas cloud. As long as I get one that doesn't have paint on it.
That's the worst situation for that.
And it was 4 focuses with nothing to change it. I was just like, well, I'll take that ship away then.
So Jendon has taken
Jendon has taken 1 shield. So utilising that reinforce there. And we are checking Captain Noir. Looks like... Oh no, we're checking Jendon first, because Fraser does have initiative. So it looks like we're going on to...
We'll see how many dice get rolled.
So, yeah.
Looks like 4.
So that'll be on to Spider-Man.
Yeah. 2 hits and plenty of evades.
2 evades, plenty there. So looking at it, Seville, is out of range. Seville, though, does have a nice trick shot at Jendon.
Oh, that's true, yeah, because the debris in the way.
It is indeed. And that's 2 hits and a focus. Unfortunately, he barrel rolled, so he doesn't have focus.
Oh, and there's the defense roll you were just talking about, but he
Yeah,
does
that's
have a focus.
he's got a force to evade 1.
Oh, they on my screen they all turn to evades.
I think I might have hit the wrong button there.
That's all right. So he dodged 1.
Yeah,
Took
dodged 1,
one
took
shield?
1, took 1. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reinforce actually disappeared because of Seavor's ability. So while you defend and perform an attack, before attack dice are rolled, if you're not in the enemy ship's bullseye, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, the enemy ship gains 1
Oh,
jam
that's
total.
true. Yeah, Seawolf can jam. I forgot about that.
Which is why Jendon then had no reinforce for that. So he would have still taken 1 anyway, but he could have potentially saved the force. And nothing coming back at Fen, so he took the only bit of danger away there.
Wow.
That was
Good round for Ed.
Good round for Ed. So very well played there.
I'm curious as to what Ed's going to do with what Fraser's going to do with Volt Scaris.
He's in an interesting position now.
Like, do you maybe just do a sharp 1 and just try and range 1 Fenral?
But Fenral's going to move first, so
Maybe try and use
Red as a
maybe
blocker.
try and use the Red Academy pilot to set up a bump.
Yeah, that would be probably the best thing to try and do. But I mean, it's such a tight angle there for.
There's not a lot of room with that cloud right in front of them.
I think a one hard may.
Yeah, maybe you kind of ignore Fenral with Volt and just go around him and try and take out some of the mining guild ties.
1 hard possibly there, or like you said, maybe do either a 3 hard to get around there, and then you could potentially boost.
I mean, it's in this situation you kind of want a non-elite defender to just okay turn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a 4K turn right now would be brilliant, but paying those extra points to get that double tap though, so hopefully we'll get to see that come off.
Ed's got pretty good positioning though, although actually Bosk is kind of in the way. I was going to say that the ties have a good straight line in between the obstacles, but Bosk is kind of right there.
Yeah, I think like a 3 or 4 would bump in there, so
they got to go a bit slower.
Yeah, either a bit slower or just take the red 5 for Spider Have.
Yeah. Well, right. I think I figured out his name. So the Mining Guild ties showed up in Rebels in the same episode as the Purgils, which are the space whales, right?
Yep. Yes.
What's a famous book with whales?
Ahab.
Yeah, Moby Dick. So Captain Ahab.
We'll
right?
go with it.
Surely.
Yes.
So I'm just going to say Ahab.
We'll go with it. It is now Spider Ahab.
It seems like the sort of reference that Fancy Flight would put in.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
I wonder if Ahab was a character in that episode. I'm not entirely sure.
Because I haven't seen Rebels in so long. I keep meaning to go back and watch it. But there's so many things I keep meaning to go back and rewatch. But then there's obviously new things that are coming out. Obviously been watching Bad Batch, which, no spoilers, but it is good.
It's fun as well.
Yeah.
It's not incredible. There's some serious plot stuff going on, but there's some really good light moments.
Yeah. But obviously we won't spoil anything. Again, just for reference, at the point of recording the commentary, we have not seen the latest episode. So by the time you watch this, technically we're an episode behind you. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying Bad Batch. I think it's really good. And also, completely not sponsored, although I'd love that, they have just announced that you can pre-order the Omega Funko Pop.
Oh, okay.
It looks really cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I saw it on Facebook and was just like, I might have to get that one. Add it to my my collection of Funko Pops that I've got on the wall.
I'm curious to see what Ahab's doing because he can't go as fast as his friends did
True.
without bumping into Bosk.
There we go. He did the slow move.
Is that a 2?
Yes. I think I like that move actually. I think it's solid because it's allowing like quite a good bit of coverage on the board for arcs there.
True, but you do sacrifice the concentrate fire that we were talking about earlier.
True. I mean, again, it's at a lambda, so we've got boss coming around anyway, so that there's a bit of.
Oh, is he going to fit though?
No, he's not. That's a bump.
Ah, that would have been so good because you would effectively like tag team.
Yeah, tag
like,
you're it.
Tag out Ahab, tag in Bosk. I mean, he's still got arc. He just won't have any tokens.
Yeah. So now we get to find out what Volt was doing because we correctly predicted the red.
Yeah, we were
Academy.
completely wrong on what he was doing last time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's the 4K.
Oh, he is just taking the stress.
Yep.
I guess with the position he's in.
Yeah, I think
you're really banking on Fenrau doing something small and not bumping. If Fen has done like a 3 sharp, no, he hasn't. He's gone the other way.
3 bank
safe, but that could have been really bad.
I'm wondering if that's very, very close on range 3. I'm wondering if Fen's managed to get himself out. I always want to see Fen do it.
I feel like that is out of range of Volt.
There's a part of me that thinks that I'd want to boost Fen in just to guarantee being out. It's so tight. And also then getting... Well, I think you might already have range 1 on Jendon. They're saying that if he stresses himself, then that's...
Do you reckon he's got enough room to boost?
I think that a bendy boost might just fit. It'll be...
Yeah, I guess it might. Again, it's close.
The margin of error on that would not be...
And that would also guarantee range 1, because at the moment it could also just be a range 2 of the Lambda.
It's tricky. So just go for the target lock.
Okay, fair enough.
Safe option. I mean,
you've still got, decent attack dice.
Yeah.
And a lot of guns are pointing at that Lambda. Ed does not like this Lambda being on the field.
Yeah.
Like, there's a 90-point defender sitting right there, and he's gone, no, that. I'm killing that.
I mean,
oh my god.
That's gonna do some
So I guess
good.
Fen was at range 1.
Yeah, and that's everything going through there.
Was that 2 crits and 3 hits?
It was 3 crits, and those crits were weapons failure, fuel leak, and wounded pilots.
And then the wounded triggered the fuel leak? Or did that come out last?
No, it should have triggered. The wounded pilot should have triggered fuel leak there. So...
Oh, I mean, with all the other guns pointing at it, I'm not sure Colonel Jendon is going to survive the round, potentially.
Oh, that's a lot closer to range 3 than I was expecting.
It looks like it's in.
It looks like it's very in. So will we see the double tap here?
Is that target lock from Skeris that is on Fenrau, though?
I believe it is.
Okay, so this could be a tractor beam then, coming out first.
So we've got...
Does the tractor beam hit?
I believe it does. That tractor beam hits.
I think the tractor beam just hit.
Yeah. So tracted. So that is 1 less agility.
Now
on
the thing
Fenrau.
is, you don't. I think you just opt to leave him where he is, don't you? Because if you move him forward onto the rock, yes, he's on a rock, but also you don't get your second shot.
Yeah.
If you barrel roll him, then he's just going around the rock again anyway.
And then he also gets an additional evade when Jendon gets to shoot him if Boss can't take him out, which Boss would be very lucky to take him out. He'd need to get double crits.
And actually, with the new tractor beam rules, if you move him, he could rotate 90 degrees, which could be
the stress,
terrible for him. So I think you just leave him there and just go, right, you've got 1 less agility, I'll shoot you.
Yeah, leave him there and then just shoot with your regular attack, which you've got target locked. So I think the debate is still going on there about that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not just a straight Yeah, I mean, boosting him onto the rock could be good, but again, puts you out of range 1, which is the big problem, as you said.
But also, if you put him on the rock,
He may have to fly through it next
I don't
turn.
know. I feel like with his positioning at the moment, he wouldn't have to. Yeah. But it looks like he is staying put with just 1 less agility.
Staying put, and that's hit crit on Fen.
Right, re-rolling the focus with
Reroll the focus.
Fire control.
Oh, and that's a
Fen
hit
took
crit
the tie rock, so he has no defensive token. So Fen's taken.
He's taken a structural damage.
Oh, Fen does not like that.
No, and especially when if Jendon survives this boss shot, he's going to get shot from Jendon with -2 agility.
Yeah, that's currently a 1 agility Fen Rao.
Yeah, well, it's range 1, it will be.
Oh, that's true. Concordia face off.
He'll get Concordia face off and his ability. So boss gets 1 hit.
Not the best shot. No mods because he bumped. So...
Spending the force to evade it.
So even if Jendon goes down here... Actually, no, Fraser has initiative, so he's shooting now anyway.
Yeah. So at the moment, it should be 4v2. No mods for Jendon, though, because he spent the force a moment ago. Although I actually said that, sorry, it should be 3v2 because of weapons failure.
Yes. Because a lot of crits in this attack.
Yeah. And that's not great. It's only 1.
1. But, I mean, even getting 1 damage onto a Fen Rao is still good.
Let's see what Fen pulls out here. I mean, he's got Concordia, so...
Does Concordia guarantee an evade?
Why do you defend?
Or is it just an extra?
If the attack range is 1 and you're in the attacker's forward arc, change 1 result to an evade.
Oh, okay, so he was guaranteed to be safe.
So yeah, it would have needed to have
This is how hard to hit Fen Rao can be, right? Yeah. He's got effectively 1 agility, you shoot him, and he still doesn't take any damage.
Well, the thing is, he should have 2, because of, again, his ability, it was in range 1. So loses a dice for tractor, loses a dice for structural, so down to 1, but it's in range 1, so he gets another dice anyway. Fen is crazy.
At range 1, Fen is just a machine.
Yeah, I mean, with outmaneuver, he's good. If he was doubling down with Fearless, it just hurts. It's horrible. I hate it. I don't like it.
But I mean, Fen's been doing fine without Fearless this game so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's done 2 shots and got 10 damage.
God, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's
brutal. And that's hit crits from Noir. And
of course, going through the rock for
going through the rock. So that will be
down.
Yeah, hit the crit.
Triggering the fuel leak for
the fuel leak. That's damage sensor array.
There's just a lot of cards there.
It's a lot of cards.
I think it's gone.
Bye bye, Jendon. You went boom boom. But I think he actually did fairly well there.
He's drawn a lot of the fire and put a lot of the ties on. Well, in fact, almost the entire Scum team now behind, or Scaris is now behind the entire Scum team.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say.
Essentially, so that's where it's now going to be tricky. I mean, admittedly, Gwen and Noir are now with asteroids in front of them, so it's not so bad. Ahab has got a little bit of space there to play with, and Bosk and Fen are fairly maneuverable anyway, so they should be okay.
And with Fen Rao, taking a bit of damage, especially with the stabilizer, if Volt or potentially the Academy pilot can finish off Fen Rao, then Volt Scaris could potentially just run circles around all of the other Scum ships.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's structural damage, not lose stabilizer, but still, I think this might be where Volt having the TIE Defender Elite might actually play into his hands a little bit. Because having access to like that 1 and 2 hard that are white is going to be so powerful. I mean, the amount of times I've been looking at my Defender dial and gone, I really wish that the 1 hard was not red right now. I think this time it might actually play dividends for Fraser there.
Yeah, although he is currently stressed, so the sharps only become white, I think. Or
so 1 and 2 become white, 3 becomes blue, but then the rest of the dial is still pretty handy. I mean, you're looking at all of the forwards are blue, and the 1 bank is blue. So
okay, that's pretty good. And also, given his current position, he's not really going to do any of the sharp turns.
Yeah, I mean, he's more than likely, I'd say, a 2 or 3, maybe even a 4 forward blue.
I think the 4 forward might be a bit too quick because the Spider-Gwen, Spider-Noir, and Hawkeye Bosk can fairly comfortably get around that cloud, I think. Although, no, because Fenn's in the way for them, actually, isn't he?
Well, I mean, with Gwen, 3 hard clears. With 3 hard, maybe trying to see if he can get some form of bump there if he anticipates Scaris going fast. Noir obviously doesn't care about that rock, so could do a 2 or a 3 and would fit quite nicely there. Boss could then do a 2 to sit in, and Ahab could do like a 2 bank down towards red to sort of like try and trap Scaris in a bit of a box.
Yeah, no, I can see that happening.
So,
and I feel like this Academy pilot is his only orders this entire game have been go bump the enemy ships.
Yes. That paint job is still too clean. Go scratch it up.
Yeah.
But whilst we're waiting for them to do their moves, I think now would be a good time to remind everyone that we have now got a Patreon for the channel. So if you do want to support us and enjoy what we do, we now have a Patreon. Starting at £2 a month, you can support us and get your name shouted out on the channel. So we would appreciate any help that you guys feel like throwing our way. And again, as always, it's great if we can get a subscribe and a like on the channel. And if you have any comments about anything you see on here, whether we've made a mistake or you like the paint jobs or anything, feel free to drop those in the comments below. We absolutely love reading them and responding back to them.
Yeah, you're very active on replying to the comments. I've noticed on the videos, which is great for a YouTube channel.
Oh, I to be honest, I get some great comments, even the ones where they're like, "Oh, you made a mistake." And I'm like, you know what? Thank you very much. Like, I've said it before. There's so much in this game that is difficult to know everything. So if someone can point out when something has gone wrong, then I'll be like, you know what? Now that it's been pointed out, I know it, and hopefully I can make sure it doesn't happen again.
Make sure it doesn't happen again. And you were completely right about Gwen just going over the rock.
Yeah, not caring. And basically everyone going, what was that little TIE fighter? Ignore. Ed?
Yeah,
that's not where it should be.
I'm never a huge fan of the sort of corner-to-corner movement. I'm not entirely sure it is correct, but this was a friendly game, right?
Yeah, it's a friendly game, so it's fine. I mean, on the bank is the only one that I will always mark up. If it's a straight maneuver, I'm happy to do the corner to corner because that normally works better.
Yeah, and with the sharp turns, you can mark it on the little halfway point on the ships.
Yeah, you can do it sideways there. So in that case with Boss, there was the option to go from side to side instead, but they've decided to mark up, which is fair. Neither way is wrong. It's all just whichever you find easier. I mean, on TTS, you click the button and it does it. It tells you if it's good or not, so that's nice and easy.
Yeah, but sometimes the button disappears as you're about to press it. It can be a bit frustrating.
Yeah, there is that. But it looks like... I think I didn't quite call Gwen just right, but her ignoring, not being bothered by the rock, fair. But it looks like we do have a good sort of
Oh,
Oh,
Bosk making use of his one upgrade for a
that's
white barrel roll.
that is interesting positioning there.
Yeah, he's now
He,
definitely going to go over that rock,
yeah,
right?
he must be clearing way for Fen. That's the only
Right,
thing
he'd
I
rather
can think.
take maybe a bit of damage and no actions for Bosk next turn in order to
Yeah.
get Fen to turn around. I'd be
Mm.
interested to see if that is the case. Because
And
Fen has a 2 Talon roll, is that right?
I would need to bring their list back
I
up,
think he has
but
some sort of Talon roll. I mean,
they are ridiculous. So
yes, they
yes,
have a 2
Fen does have
Talon
a
roll,
two-tenor roll.
which I guess would be exactly where Bosk just moved out of the way of.
Pretty
That's
much.
close though.
Oh, that
No,
is.
just the one.
He's gone for
Oh,
the
no,
one hard. That will be why he's moved Bosk out the way.
okay.
Maybe he feels that two Talon wouldn't have fit because that's where Noir is, and also probably would have gone over that rock.
Yeah, but if you, I
It's,
guess if you're risking the damage, but
yeah,
you would already be losing your action from being stressed. Thing is, even now he's not going anywhere to reposition, so he has to take a
just the
focus.
focus. Yeah, it's not a great position for Fed. Luckily, I mean, you've still got two ships pointing at Volt. It would have been nicer to have 3 or 4. And just taking the focus for the action there. Interesting. So shouldn't be any double tapping this time, but we are going straight in on Fen. That's
Oh,
not great.
I
Re-rolling for FCS. Oh, so we do have a target lock. Sorry. So yes, that would be the.
spends the focus for 2 hits, so this could be attractive again.
I believe this is a tractor beam. I missed that target lock. Let's be honest. So
It's
this
one
one
of
it
those
will
things where
be.
you kind of expect the target lock to get spent. The fact that it's still there is unusual.
Spending the focus to avoid that tractor. I think right now that is a very good choice.
But Scarus does still get to shoot, even though that doesn't hit.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, that could be it.
That could indeed be it. And that is, in fact, it for Fen. Knight Fen Rao.
I mean, he's put in a lot of damage. As you said earlier, he shot twice and got 10 damage.
Yeah.
And he's effectively killed half of Fraser's list.
Yeah, he has done well there. And yeah, I think that was pretty solid. And it looks like there he did actually get that loose stabilizer. So maybe that was a bit of a foreshadow from you there earlier.
No, I was just getting crits mixed up.
Fair enough. Just the crits that you ideally like Fen to get. Loose stabilizer, fuel leak, hull breach. They're the good ones. Direct hit, structural damage.
Most of them are pretty bad on Fen.
Yeah, panic pilot, weapons failure. I can't really think of any that I wouldn't want on Fen. Blinded pilot, maybe, because he still gets a focus, is maybe a weaker one. But I'm just actually having a look at the damage deck.
I mean, ultimately, there shouldn't really be any good crits.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the one that means that your turns are easier. Although you can't fix that one, so.
Oh, well, the turns are harder.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, yeah, turns are harder, is what I meant.
So that is loose stabilizer, isn't it? No, that's the one where you take damage. It's damaged engine. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, loose stabilizer and damaged engine on Fen would be quite funny.
Looks like Noir might be trying to take a shot on the Academy pilot, but is out of arc, so he's just going to go straight into Skeris. I think that might be going through that cloud a bit.
To me, closest is to the cloud, so there's 3 dice being rolled there, so.
And Skeris has no defensive tokens,
spend that
so
focus.
just dice.
What was the last dice? Oh, yeah, he's fine. Gas clouding it.
Oh, of course, the cloud.
So, again, I think I hit the focus button
That's
on the
fine. We know that he's dodged it.
Yeah.
But I think if anyone's going to get damage on to Skeris, it will be Ahab. Unless he's already shot and we missed it
think
because we were talking about crits.
Yeah, I think he has already shot, and actually there was two shields down on Scarus, so Ahab did get some damage in there.
Good for him.
Good work, Ahab. You finally got into there. Is Scarus his white whale?
I mean, if anything, Jindon was the white whale.
Oh, yeah. But Ahab didn't even get anywhere near either.
That's true.
Which is quite funny. It's like, damn, you got my white whale. I'll go for this shark then instead.
Yeah, I'll have to do for this other thing.
Yeah, I'll go for the yellow-tipped shark. I'm not gonna lie, I do love that defender paint scheme. Like that yellow on there is really nice.
I don't know what it is about. I think it might be like the angle of all of the panels and stuff, but the color just on the edge just really looks good. But if you tried that on like any other tie, it wouldn't be nearly as nice.
It's because of the way the panels go out, whereas they're either straight or go in for every other TIE fighter.
They're sort of inverted, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're inverted. So that's what I think really allows it to itself. I think the only other one you could probably get away with that, but it's not the kind of paint job anyone would do, would be the Phantom. Because again, although it's straight, it's still angled out from that midpoint.
Yeah. And also, it's a Phantom. You want to paint it in sort of stealthy colours rather than a bright yellow stripe.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that with all three of mine, so they're all cloaking in various
people are going to
ways.
spot that. You need to change that. Get your paints out.
We don't see enough Phantoms on the board. I'd love to see the them redo the Phantom for version 2. Maybe get a new pilot in there. Something else interesting. Give it a cruise
it's the only
slot
ship
back.
that has. Well, so it's one of the few ships that has a decloak, and there's so many abilities that they could do around that. Surely.
Yeah.
I mean, Whisper obviously has an amazing ability.
But Whisper's
I mean, Echo has the curvy decloak.
The curvy decloak. So essentially going, Star Vipers, I see you can curvy barrel roll. Well, I'm going to do it as a decloak instead.
Maybe you go, here's a low initiative pilot, but they can decloak during engagement or something.
That would be so powerful and so expensive, even if it is low initiative, because you could basically...
Maybe. I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas. Maybe that is broken, but, there's got to be something you can do.
It's broken and I love it.
Ahab going in for the bump.
I don't think he's going to get it. Now he bites. I like. Don't go backwards, Ed. He went backwards. I think Scarus is probably going to try and turn in, so I like it. Because if Ahab gets the bump, then you've got Gwen.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind, though, is with Scarus's ability, he could reposition if he doesn't get bumped.
He needs to spend... if he doesn't bump, then yes. I say if he does bump, then no, because he still needs to spend the action to actually charge it, essentially. What is Bosk doing?
Trying to go around that rock.
Missing the rock, so that's not too bad.
I was so sure after that barrel roll that he would.
Yeah, I thought
fair
that,
play.
Yeah, I thought that anything was going to hit. It's just... I mean, I see the reason. Obviously, he wanted to get Fen like an action. It didn't pan out for him, unfortunately, but it was just such an interesting positioning. I think Fen should have gone a bit faster anyway, but hindsight is 20/20, as they say.
And that original position before the barrel roll.
That would have been perfect.
I said it looks like a bump, and then he moved.
Yeah.
Now Scarus is out of all arcs except for Gwen.
Yes, unless he does a boost. Which I think, I think in that position, I think I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have any shots yourself, so just doing the boost to stay safe. Yeah. That's fair enough.
And you've already taken 2 shields. You're only 2 shields away from giving away a lot of points, giving away 46 points. And that, I think, is defenders.
He was 90.
He's 91.
Oh, he's 91. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the things with the defenders. They are scary. They hit hard. They can defend pretty well, especially if they've got their normal full throttle ability with that essentially a free evade.
Oh, is Bosk in range?
Oof, range 3, yeah, just.
And this is the one tie on the board that does not have trick shot.
Yeah. 2 hits.
Bosk has never seen so many green dice in his life.
Okay. And gets the evade he needs. But yeah, as I said about the defender, the thing is, once you start getting that damage in, I mean, if you can deny them actions, you get them out of arc with outmaneuver. As soon as they start taking damage, they start feeling fragile because it's only 7 hit points in total.
True.
So, and then once you've taken 4 away, I mean, on Vault at the moment, that's 46 points at half. If you're running Vader, you're talking around 59 points for like a basic Vader build of Vader with hate.
Yeah, I mean, but Vader is just a different thing.
Oh, Vader is so much fun. He's like,
as he should be. It's Vader.
Yeah, I've
best
played,
pilot in the galaxy.
I've played Vader 3 times.
In the Defender.
In the Defender.
Okay.
Twice went really well for me. Once went terribly. I tried to be out aggressive against Amy. And unfortunately, we know that what happens when Amy decides to turn the aggressive on, it tends to work for her, and she absolutely destroyed Vader. So, because he's really good at attacking, but if you get him in a position where you get a lot of shots on him, he can't use his force on defense.
Oh, that's true. He becomes just sort of a regular ship on defense, where if you focus on him, he will go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that seems a good trade-off for having such good offense, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his offense is ridiculous. So.
Then again, as we've seen in this game, Fen Rao.
Yeah.
I mean, still probably the best pilot Scum have. Personally.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like Boba Fett can get good with a lot of upgrades. We've got Fen Rao here with outmaneuver that didn't even trigger.
Yeah.
And he killed an Academy pilot in one shot and laid a bunch of crits onto a Lambda.
Yeah. I mean, Fen is just powerful. But then again, you want Fen to be powerful. I mean, there's a lot of points to put into him. I mean, his basic pilot is 68 points. So, I mean, obviously, you got to take into account that's his ability and obviously the ship he's in. But still, I mean, he is very good. I mean, we've spoken a couple of times on the channel about sort of like top tier pilots. And I think any conversation where you're talking about top tier pilots, Fen is, if not at the top, he's definitely in your top 3.
Oh, yeah, he definitely should be.
I mean, I think your conversations there, you're looking at Fen, Vader, Wedge, Soontir, and I think probably Anakin as well.
Yeah, that seems like a good, like, off the top of the head sort of list of pilots.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's plenty of other really good pilots at like mid-range initiatives with really good abilities. But
when you look at ships and you go, which one's the most fun to fly? You tend to gravitate towards the higher initiatives.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like any of the defenders are really fun to fly. Wedge is fun to fly, although if you stick out maneuver out on him and double down on it, you might get a few dodgy looks. Anakin is great fun to fly in either variant. And we know how much you love flying Poe as well. And I would say OG Poe is up there as well.
Oh, version 1 Poe, or do you mean the first version?
The first version 2 Poe,
yeah.
not the original version 2 Poe. Yeah. So nothing there on that first attack. Ahav going in
Onto the Academy
on the
pilot,
academy. Oh, there's
trying to do Fenral proud, but falling short.
that's exactly what academy pilots do. They are a pain in the butt. So checking arc.
Oh, it's close, but I think it's out.
I think it's out, but we do have range 3.
Possibly through the cloud as well.
Judging by the angles, Volt is angled slightly away from
So it has to be
Seavor.
around. I think they're just checking it now. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that is obstructed. Because when you look at
from here, it looks obstructed, but again, they're the players. It's
I mean,
at the end of the day,
if you look at sort of like trying to find the parallel lines, I'd say that like Seavor is sort of angled a little bit that way, and Volt is angled like almost straight on.
Bump at any point? I'm trying to remember. Or it's just those little inconsistencies throughout the game, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see how many dice get grabbed.
Yeah. Oh, there's a third dice.
An extra red, so I think we are saying this is obstructed for trick shot.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good.
Nice.
Potentially another shield or something. But it's a lot of green dice.
That is a shield.
Using the cloud to change that.
Using the cloud to change that. So.
But I mean, what was that? Range 3 obstructed shot, and you got a shield off of a defender.
Yeah, range 3 obstructed through the cloud. That is pretty good.
And now Gwen a bit closer, definitely obstructed. Similar damage.
Oh, wait, see what I see. Oh, there's the gas cloud.
Better defense dice for Volt this time.
Yeah, gas clouds are good. Like I think that defenders like them. Oh, that's 2 hits into Bosk. And that's 2 hits into Bosk. Spending the focus there, so it's a 3 hits.
Okay. Good shot from the Academy pilot.
Yep, stripping Bosk of his shields there. Can't really complain about that.
No. I think it's interesting that Bosk has expert handling and no sort of crit related upgrades for his ability.
Yeah.
Although I know that the Ed's list is pushing on points a bit.
Yeah, so it's 199 points. So, I mean, saying that,
I don't know what else you could take.
I mean, if you dropped expert handling and put marksmanship on there.
Yeah, that might work better.
And then that gives you an extra point there for...
Then again, we've seen Bosk use the expert handling to barrel roll out of the way for Fenrir, so I guess that did work.
Yeah, true. Well, I was just having a look at other crazy shenanigans you could put on there. I mean, you could potentially drop it down to marksmanship and put Dead Man's Switch on there.
I'll just take a Dead Man's Switch.
Or
the Scum tactic of, I've got 2 points, throw this on.
Yeah. I mean...
Make them a bit wary of killing me.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Man's Switch is just hilarious. There's a game on the channel with Connor versus Quinn, where Connor elected not to use a focus token to trigger Dead Man's Switch on his Z95. That was genius. That was so good.
Now, Gwen's hit a cloud.
So she will still need to roll for that.
Yes.
Because it's not an asteroid. Yeah. It's not like a collision detector. Which is a great upgrade card, and not many people use it.
It's one of those things where it's like... kind of like training wheels, I guess?
Yeah. But I like it on Phantoms.
True, on ships that really want to avoid obstacles, like the Phantom, then yes, definitely.
Because you basically go, okay, well, I'll spend a charge and I can then decloak over that rock. And you thought you had me trapped.
I'm curious to see where Skeris goes. I mean, I am most of the time in this game.
Yeah. But I think that's exactly what Ed is also thinking. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate, though.
He's hit the rock.
He's
but
hit the rock.
He's not able.
He can barrel roll.
Can he barrel roll up? I guess if he goes up and.
I don't think he can go up. He'd have to.
He'd have to barrel roll down.
Yeah.
I mean, he could focus down the Academy pilot
Yeah.
if he barrel rolls down.
I say he could go down and end up about here.
But does that then get in the way of Ahab?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because Ahab, even if he did anything would either bump into Bosk or might land him on there. And if he's doing a 2 or if he does a 3, he might end up about here, which wouldn't be too worth more of a 2 actually. But he's got to be careful. It's very tight in that gap there now.
Yeah. Staying on the rock and taking a focus. Interesting.
Not the choice I would have gone with, but
because you only ignore asteroids on movement, right? So he still wouldn't get to shoot.
Oh, and that's unfortunate because he's done the 1 that's landed Ahab on there as well, and Ahab's got no way of getting out. It almost.
So I think knowing that Ahab was doing that, I think you do barrel roll down the board and get Ahab to bump.
Yeah, I think that would have been the strike.
I mean, yes, their ability. You can ignore it. Ahab gets a trick shot probably.
Yeah.
But no, because he won't get a trick shot because he doesn't get a shot.
Now he doesn't get a shot because you only ignore it when you're moving.
See how it goes. Although I've just looked at the points. Actually, it is very close.
Yeah. I mean, the Lambda and that TIE Fighter. The Lambda's a big chunk of points, and obviously half points on Bosk isn't a lot, but Fen is where most of those points are.
Yeah.
I mean, half points on Bosk is 15 points. So, but if Ed can sneak half points on Volt, though, that will be a big swing there.
I mean, if either of them get half points on anything.
Yeah.
Like that Academy pilot.
He's got a nice shot.
He's out of the way at the moment, but there's only 2 points between them at the moment.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got to shoot at Bosk now, right? That would be the best option.
I don't know if he can with where he's positioned. Also, if those two ties on the rock had a shot, Skeris would be scared right now.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the ultimate kill box on Skeris right now.
But as it stands, there's one unmodified range 1 from Gwen with trick shot.
Yeah.
Probably a decent shot from Bosk. But yeah, Skeris, despite how it looks, probably going to be all right.
Yeah, I think this is one of those times where he's actually probably quite happy to be in that sort of arc space because it means that he's going to be able to get out of that quite nicely.
It's a range 1.
That's a range 1. That's 3 hits. I
think that was into Noir.
Yeah, and there's marksmanship triggering as well.
With all his other upgrades, I forgot he even had marksmanship.
Oh, but that's how you say no thank you very much. Nice.
The old spider sense is kicking in.
So
and then
Bosk.
Bosk would be next, wouldn't he? Looks like a range 1.
Oh, 2 hits. Definitely spend it. Unmodified from Skeris. Can Bosk?
I mean, there's no
in?
crits coming through.
Oh,
look at that!
Exactly what Fraser needed right there.
those two don't get to shoot, so we go straight over to Gwen. I think they're just checking if it is going to be a trick shot. I think it is. I think the corner.
If you look,
the
if you
front
look
of
corner
Gwen.
to corner, yeah, that corner is actually on there. So 2 hits.
Although, if it was, oh, hang on, it's got a.
No, that's a strain. It should have been. It should have been 4 dice.
Yeah, I was gonna say it should have been 4. Oh well.
Unless they did class it as unobstructed.
Maybe.
Interesting. And a whiff there from the Academy.
Oh, Academy pilot.
He suddenly realised that he is actually only an Academy pilot.
And he had no mods. He'd done a red.
Yeah. So.
But the Academy pilot's in a good position to just sort of slowly move forward and just take a shot on whatever he can.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even think he actually has to move that slowly. He could potentially, well, he could slowly move up just to keep that pressure, or he could move up fairly quick to try and get the range one in the back.
He could, but Bosk moves well after him, so there is that.
It also depends on how closely they're following the time, because we've got just over 6 minutes left.
Yeah, these ties are really going to start bumping into each other, I think.
Oh yeah, if they don't start bumping, I'd be very surprised.
But again, I feel like at this point, Skeris would be looking at his dog going, man, that white Kato would be great here.
Oh yeah, that 4K set would be absolutely perfect right now.
I mean, he does still have a tight lock on Bosk, so
he could just
take the red, maybe get the tractor beam, regular shot combo off, but
yeah.
I don't know, I'm just curious because it's a fairly new upgrade card, and I'm just wondering if it's worth taking sometimes.
I think that's the thing with some of the newer configs, especially the ones that change that baked in
it's
ability.
not just you can also do this now. It's you're giving up this to be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, we were having a conversation before we started recording about the sensitive controls for ships with the auto thruster ability.
Yeah, it completely changes when you can position.
Yeah, and I think in some cases that's going to be really powerful, especially if you're trying to utilize those obstacles. So we mentioned about Blackout with Trick Shot. Being able to basically get right up in front of that obstacle, take the shot through it, and then next turn barrel roll out the way before he has to move. It completely ups the viability of Blackout's ability as a pilot.
Yeah, whereas on someone like Kylo, who gets to move late in the game anyway, and has all of the information, can still afford to maneuver after moving.
Yeah. So it really sort of like changes the way things work like that. So I think it's a good upgrade card. Would I use it that often? I'm not sure. Do I prefer full throttle? Yes, I think I do.
I think the free evade probably could have helped prevent some of the damage that Skeris has taken as well.
Yeah. And also, I think for me, one of the ships that I like using when I'm using the Defenders is Ryad.
Ryad's fantastic.
Yeah. So sticking the TIE Defender Elite on Ryad completely...
Yeah, those do not go together, I think.
No, because it doesn't just go from blue to white. It actually goes from blue to red.
Yeah. I mean, I also get the impression that this is, first game back for a while in person, want to try out the new stuff, so
yeah,
see how it works.
But I mean, so far I think overall it's worked out quite well. I mean, we're getting a lot of bumping.
It's not been disastrous.
No, not at all.
Here comes the first of some bumps.
Which I think is a bit unfortunate there for Noir, because I think that's now put him out of arc of everything. And
yeah, he doesn't have a shot on the Academy pilot. Although the Academy pilot has a decent shot on both of those ties in front of him.
Yeah, it all depends on where Bosk ends up as to how good his shot there ends up being as well. He could be completely sweeping up. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's interesting. Is that going to land him on the debris? Oh no, so it's not debris. The debris further up. It's the obstacle.
So it does land him on the asteroid. He's
the one ship on the board for Ed that can hit an asteroid, and he's hit literally the only asteroid in his way.
It is absolutely unfortunate there.
Is that damage or is that focus?
That is a damage.
Oh, Bosk on 1 health.
Bosk on 1 health with
the Academy pilot could do it.
The Academy pilot could indeed do it. It'll be interesting to see now what Scaris does.
Potentially Gwen could kill the Academy pilot before it gets a shot off, but that would be impressive.
I mean, it would have to be double crit.
Oh, that's true, because there's no trick shot or range 1. Yeah.
And there's only 2 dice for the tie.
But the Academy pilot could whiff, or Bosk could get amazing green dice.
Yeah.
We've still got Scaris to move, and I think that is the K-turn.
That is the K-turn. I think that's the right time to do the K-turn as well.
Oh, that puts him right behind Ahab.
Right behind Ahab. Nothing is going to be shooting at him. But also,
he's safe.
I think he's probably going to try and take out Bosk. Actually, I don't know. That range 1 on Ahab is really tempting, but Ahab's not worth
I think with
points.
Bosk on 1 health, you go for it for the points. Because the Academy pilot can shoot anyone. So if this doesn't kill Bosk, then fine, you've got another chance at it.
But it looks like we're going to tractor first. We are going to tractor, so that's -1.
Now he's really in trouble.
Yeah. And again, the next debate.
Whether to move him. I think you leave him there.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well. You've got that.
Because you only... Oh, no, he's moving forward.
Interesting. I'm not sure why you do that, because that now gives Ed the option to turn it, potentially getting him arc.
Yeah, unless they're... No, he is turning it. He might get a returning shot.
I mean, that if he can manage it. And also it's now range 3, so it's actually put him a little bit further away, so it's almost negated.
Yeah, negate the effect of the tractor beam by giving him an extra evade die.
Yeah, and got him off the rock and given him a shot. So if he can survive this, that could be... It's a good shot.
I mean, I don't think Bosk is going to get, tremendous damage off, but...
Or any.
Ah.
Bye-bye, Bosk. Sad face.
It's an interesting move to actually move him with the tractor beam, but
I think it was quite risky, actually. Potentially,
because you're also moving it further away from the Academy pilot. So if that second follow-up shot did miss, the Academy pilot's got a worse shot as well.
Yeah, and the risk there of giving a shot to someone when you are 1 hit point away with no mods, it was risky. I mean, it paid off. And sometimes you've got to take the risk. But
so now I think it is Gwen into the Academy pilot. I don't think anyone else has a shot.
It is range 1 though, so that's 3 hits. Oh, just the 1 damage going through.
It's a good shot though. 3 hits.
It was a good shot. 3 hits. That's pretty strong. And again, as we know, TIE fighters with their 3 evades.
Ed's kept all of these ties healthy the entire game, and we're at time. So, is he going to go with unscratched paint on any of his spider ships?
Oh, Oh, that would be nice. I'd hate to scratch any of the paint on those ships.
Which one do you reckon Fraser's going to go for? They're all at range 1.
I think you go for Seavor.
Try and knock his hat off.
Yeah. And in fact, oh no, he went for Ahab instead. So
and does get some damage.
Does get a damage, so not enough to get points on it though, but
scratch the paint.
Yeah, scratch that paint. So I'll tell you what, that was
a good game.
It was very good game.
The teams were fairly balanced, really. You had an ace, you had like a bit of a swarm, and then like a bit of a support role here and there. It was good.
Yeah, it was nice, and I'll tell you what, we got to see Fenn in his prime there, smashing things up, but then we also got to see him die quite quickly, which is a bit of a double-edged sword. I kind of enjoyed that.
What a way to go out, dealing so much damage before going down.
What's that? I'm going to do 2 shots and get 10 damage. Yeah, you know what?
I was concerned that near the start, Scarus was out of the fight for too long, but once he turned around, that was...
Yeah, and I think as well, what we said, the TIE Defender Elite was actually a good choice for him in the end. It just opened up some of those smaller turns. So, I mean, overall, good game. Well done, Fraser. Again, well done, Ed. Absolutely brilliant.
Still like those paint jobs.
I will try and get some pictures up on Instagram of that next time that Ed has those down. But anyway, James, thank you very much for coming along and commentating that one. Again, I know you were quite happy with Marvel. So hopefully we'll have you back on soon. Might even get you back on to have a game. I think it's been a while since we've actually had a game against each other, so we'll try and organise that at some point.
All right.
But in the meantime, guys, again, thank you very much for watching. As I said, if you do want to support the channel, we do have a Patreon, and the link will be in the description below. But please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, we will see you next time.